In 1899, Nikola Tesla built a tower in Colorado Springs. He ran electricity through it, not through wires, not through cables, just through the air. His instruments showed he could light a bank of 200 light bulbs from 25 miles away without a single wire connecting them. He called it his greatest achievement. A few years later, he started building something bigger, a tower in Long Island called Wardenclyffe. His plan was to transmit unlimited free electricity across the entire globe. He was almost there. Then, in 1917, the tower was demolished. The land was sold to pay debts. Tesla died broke in a New York hotel room in 1943. And the technology that could have changed everything disappeared. Or did it? Most people think of Tesla as the man who invented AC power, the guy who lost a patent war to Edison, a brilliant eccentric. But Tesla's work went much farther than that. Starting in the late 1890s, Tesla began researching what he called wireless transmission of energy. He believed the Earth itself was a conductor, that with the right frequencies, you could send electrical power anywhere on the planet using the ground and the ionosphere as a natural circuit. He documented this in a series of papers, patents, and notebooks. Many of those notebooks were seized by the U.S. government at his death and classified for decades. The FBI's records on Tesla, obtained through Freedom of Information Act requests, confirm that agents visited his room at the New Yorker Hotel in 1943, the same day he died. They removed documents and delivered them to the Alien Property Custodian Office. The government's official explanation? They were looking for materials relevant to wartime research. The documents were eventually declassified. They're available through the FBI's electronic reading room today. What they don't explain is why they were classified in the first place. See, Tesla's core wireless energy concept wasn't purely theoretical. His Colorado Springs experiments, documented in his own lab notes, showed measurable transmission of electrical power without wires. He recorded stationary electrical waves in the Earth, suggesting the planet could be used as a tuned resonant circuit. His patent, number 645576, filed in 1897, describes a system for transmitting electrical energy through the natural medium. It was granted. It's in the public record. In 2007, a team at MIT, led by Marin Soljicic, successfully transmitted electricity between two coils 7 feet apart, wirelessly, using a concept they called resonant coupling. Their paper was published in Science magazine. The concept was old. They said as much in their paper. They cited Tesla. Today, wireless charging is in every phone. Every charging pad on your desk works on a principle that Tesla patented 120 years ago. But his bigger vision, ambient, large-scale power transmission, still hasn't been built. Why not? Well, here's where the story gets complicated. Tesla's financial backer for the Wardenclyffe Tower was J.P. Morgan, the most powerful banker in America. Morgan funded the project, believing it would be a wireless communications tower similar to what Marconi was building. When Tesla revealed his actual goal, free worldwide power transmission, Morgan stopped the funding. The reason, according to Tesla's own correspondence with Morgan, was simple. You can't put a meter on free energy. If power flows freely through the earth and the air, who pays for it? How do you sell it? How do you build a business around it? Morgan's refusal is documented. The letters are archived at the Morgan Library in New York. Tesla spent the next 40 years trying to find other backers. He never did. The patents expired, the notes were seized, and a generation of engineers moved on to a power grid built around centralized stations, copper wire, and monthly bills. But the conversation never fully ended. In 2020, a team of engineers in New Zealand announced successful long-range wireless power transmission over 55 meters using phased array technology. Their paper was published in Nature Electronics. The U.S. Naval Research Laboratory published results in 2023 showing wireless power transmission from a satellite demonstration, beaming energy from orbit to a receiver on the ground. These are not fringe projects. These are government-funded, peer-reviewed, published results. And thousands of engineers around the world are now working on small-scale versions of what Tesla originally dreamed: distributed local power generation that doesn't depend on the grid. The interest in off-grid power has exploded since 2020. Supply chain disruptions, rolling blackouts, extreme weather events. People are realizing that depending on a centralized grid is a vulnerability, not a feature. So here's the question. Tesla had the patents, he had the funding, he had the lab results. If the technology worked, and the evidence suggests it did at some scale, what would the world look like today if Morgan had said yes instead of no? We'll never know. But what we do know is that the principles Tesla documented are real. They're being built on today, and the engineers doing that work are finding real results. There's a presentation circulating right now that you're never going to find on YouTube, but it was created by a team of engineers who've taken some of these same principles and designed a system that ordinary homeowners can actually build. Not a theory, an actual working blueprint. It's free to watch. There's a link in the description if you're interested. The tower at Wardenclyffe was torn down to pay a $20,000 debt. The man who lit the world with AC power died owing $27 to a hotel in New York. And somewhere in a basement in Washington, there are documents about his work that were classified for 40 years and only released because someone filed a Freedom of Information Act request. None of that means that Tesla solved everything. None of it means the technology is what its most enthusiastic promoters claim. But it does mean the story isn't over. The link to that free presentation is in the description below. If you'd like to learn more shocking science that's been buried by the modern scientific establishment, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.